Yo, Coach Shamika Jones, and welcome to another episode of Next Possession, where we talk about everything women's basketball. So, I hope you all had an amazing week watching all of the basketball. So much basketball news. We got to break it all down. So, we're going to start with the NCAA finally approving women basketball players that play in March Madness to get paid in the tournament. Yes, you heard me correctly. So the men's players, if you're not aware, the men's players have been getting paid for their efforts for years. The women's players have not. I don't know if you guys remember, but back in 2020 during COVID, when March Madness happened, that's when we saw the disparity between what the boys were eating and what the girls were eating, and that caused the whole thing. And now, thank you God, basketball for women is finally catching up. So yes, they're going to get paid. So this year, they're expected to pay out to the conference offices $15 million. Next year, it'll jump to 20. The years after that, the 26-27 season, it'll jump to 25 million. Now, every year after that, they will be caught up with the men, right? And they will be paying out 2.9% of a growth rate every year. Now, when it comes to the conferences, the conference offices will then disperse the funds to the universities, which will disperse the funds to the students. I don't know about you guys, but I'm excited, man, to get paid, to actually get paid for your efforts at such a young age. It's just changing the game. It's changing life as we know it. My daughter is only 19 months, but she loves basketball already. If she grows up and chooses this, that's going to be her sport. Like, I can't wait to help her navigate those waters of entrepreneurship early. Like, just thinking about how Flage bought land. Like, she didn't go buy cars. She didn't go buy bags. She probably bought that stuff too, but she bought land, right? There was a men's basketball player that he's in a G League now, but he took his NIL money and he invested in hotels. Imagine what it's doing to set up these future basketball players to become entrepreneurs and just productive citizens in this country that we live in. Like, I don't know about you, but I think it's major. I am super excited about it. And the progression of the game, like the progression of the game coming from, I mean, I'm a little, you know what I'm saying, at my big old age, we ain't had none of that. But coming from the early 2000s to see it now is just, it's nothing short of amazing. Now, speaking about funds, we got to go straight to Coach Dawn. Coach Dawn Staley. Dawn Staley just inked a 5-year contract extension for $25.5 million. That's a little over $4 million a year. Like, okay, so y'all know I coached college basketball for some time, right? I coached Division I, Division II, HBCU college. Definitely not getting paid. Definitely got 17,000 job descriptions, getting paid for one title, right? Even in that, I never thought that I'd see a day where a women's coach would get paid that much. Like, this is college basketball we talking about. She's getting paid more than pro coaches, and for great freaking reason. Like, what she's doing down there, I talk about it as much as I can to whoever listen to me, but what she's doing down there is simply amazing. Not only is she winning games, right? She's winning games. She's created a culture in the community, like the community backs Gamecock women basketball, like the entire community. I guess in probably a 30 to 50 mile radius. I live in Charlotte. I know people that's driving from Charlotte to go to the games all the time, season ticket holders. What she's creating, the buzz around the game, the camaraderie, the fan base around the game is just amazing. The community engagement, which is a requirement for college coaches, right? You got to get the community involved. She's done that in spades. She's done that. Just thinking about when I talked about the Kiyomi McMillan situation, a lot of you guys told me that coaching is not a ministry. If you talk to Coach Dawn Staley, right, she'll tell you that it's 100% a ministry and a calling. Like, it's not for everybody. It's definitely a calling. And it's evident that it's a calling for her and how she approaches each game. She starts with an in-game devotional. She won a title last year. She started with thanking God before she thanked anything else or anybody else. Like, Coach Dawn Staley is a woman of faith who understands that this is her calling, and she's walking in her ministry, and she's willing to hold them kids to them hard standards. Y'all was calling for Coach Washington's head when she held Kiyomi to that hard standard. But y'all ain't calling Coach Staley to for her head when she holding Malaysia to a hard standard, right? They're kids, 17 to 22, 23. Shoot, the NCAA, the way they about to change things, they be 25, 26. But they're kids. They haven't experienced the real world yet. You're the last line of defense, and Coach Don Staley does not take that lightly. On top of all of those things, she got 15 kids, a roster of 15 kids that could play literally anywhere in the country and start. She got 15 starters. And they choose to stay and play, and they only got one L under their belt. And to be honest with you, that one L still, I got to go back and watch it again for the fourth time. It just don't feel like it should have been an L. But they caught it early, and if you know any coach, if you listen to any coach, they say if we're going to take L's, we want to take them early so that we can learn those lessons so we can gel together. And that's what they did. Coach Don Staley creates pros. She creates all conference players. She's a life changer, man. It's interesting to me, right? We look at the Gamecocks and we see a bunch of really, really talented players that could all go to the league, right? But in her opinion, and she's a GOAT, but in her opinion, she don't have nobody that could start in the league. Not one player on her team is a WNBA starter. And when she said it, I was like, I don't know. And then I watched it and I was like, you know what? You don't. So that's part of why they stay, so that they can get the game, so that they can make it to the next level and have a career that sustains the test of time. They want to be there for a while. So, Coach Don Staley, if this comes across your feed, congratulations. I'm super proud of you. You are motivating every coach in America and all of the future coaches, all of them young girls that are like, you know what, when I finish playing, I'm a coach, or I don't want to play. I just want to coach. I want to be Don Staley. I just want to say thank you for inspiring the next generation of hoopers, of coaches, and for being a trailblazer and creating history every time you do what you do. God bless you and continued success. Moving right along, talking about money and game changer, we're going to talk about the Unrivaled League. So if you don't know, Unrivaled is the new 3-on-3 women's basketball league with a lot of your favorite WNBA stars, right? Some of your favorite WNBA players, they are all playing in this Unrivaled League. Now, the Unrivaled League isn't just any 3-on-3. It gives control of the league and the money to the players. A lot of these players are inking $200,000, $220,000, $230,000 to play in a 3-on-3 league in a shorter time with less strain on your body than a WNBA season is paying them at all. So as we're talking about, the college getting paid, Don Staley getting paid, I just wanted to stay on this money train because we thriving in 2025, right? This is a great time to be a woman in sports. I'm just happy that I picked up that ball back in the late 90s, and I'm still holding on to it in 2025. It's just a great time for women's basketball. I'm happy to be a part of it. But let me tell you about Unrivaled, right? So day one, watching it comes on TNT and True TV. For those of you who don't know, I'm certain, I ain't looked yet, but I'm certain there are a lot of replays on YouTube of the full games, and the highlights are definitely out there. Unrivaled has their own YouTube page. And they're really good with keeping you up to date with everything that's going on with the league on their Instagram, social media. So go check all of that stuff out to get more information and to stay up to date with it. But that first day, right, just watching it on TV, that first day reminded me of being in the Overtime Elite gym this summer. Like, it's just enough space for everybody to feel like they're included, right? It's sold out this weekend. It's sold out for the rest of the season, by the way. You're going to have to get them tickets on wherever y'all go to buy secondhand tickets. But the energy in the room, you could feel it through the TV. And I got a little bit of a cold, and I had the energy, like, through a cold. That's how thick it is in there. It's just a great environment. It really, really is giving me Overtime Elite, but for pros. So the league was started by Breonna Stewart, by Stewie and Nafisa Collier, right? Two WNBA future Hall of Famers. They started this league with the players in mind. For years, women had to go overseas. I have a bunch of people that I know, friends, family that have played overseas, and some stayed and made a real career out of it, playing 5+ years, and some of them went, and a couple months later, they had to come home. Like, I talked to some of my players, and they struggle with being overseas. So this gives women basketball players, an opportunity to really play at home. And I think, you know what I'm saying? Everybody else gets to play at home. Why can't we? If we have the best basketball in the world, why don't we have it all year long? So that's what they did. This weekend was the first games. Game one were the Owls versus the Mist. And The Owls won in the fourth quarter with a three from Skylar Diggins. I'm sure she a meme now. I'm sure y'all have seen it all over the place. Skylar came down. I don't know what got into Skylar in that fourth quarter. Maybe because the rules change in the fourth, right? So for the first 3 quarters, they're playing 7-minute quarters. Now for the fourth quarter, the time is cut off. There is no time in the fourth quarter. There is a target point, a target score that you have to get to. So the way that they take that score is they take the leading scorer, whoever has the most points, whoever's winning at the end of the third or the top of the fourth, they add 11 points to that total, and that is the new score. So whoever gets there first. So that fourth quarter, right? That fourth quarter looked different. The kind of how we say that the NBA, they don't play hard till they get right to the playoffs and it's time for playoffs, right? That fourth quarter is NBA playoff basketball. Now they hustling and they getting it in the whole time, but that third quarter different than the first half, but that fourth quarter completely different. So the fourth quarter in the first game, Nafisa Collier had 27 points with 11 rebounds. Stewie only had 6 points, but she had 14 rebounds. She looked like she was facilitating more, and I like to see Stewie just get back into her game, being a bucket, finding her face up, Jay, like she likes, getting downhill with them one dribble lays. I want to see Stewie look more like Stewie. But that first game definitely didn't disappoint. Like I said, Skylar Diggins made history hitting the three to win the game, seal everything off. It's all over Instagram. Not over TikTok because we can't get on it no more, but definitely all over Instagram. So full games are definitely on YouTube. Now, I do have to talk about it. Day 2, right? The Laces and the Phantom. Laces 86, Phantom 48. That blowout, is that going to hurt the league? It got so quiet in there. All of that electric energy I was just talking about kind of dissipated to the point that the commentator, right, the announcer is going around trying to get fans engaged by doing the wave and just trying to keep people locked in. A 38-point blowout on inaugural weekend kind of isn't it. Now, the 3-on-3, it's a condensed court, it's a condensed court. The rules are different. It's a shorter game. I don't know if any of that had anything to do with the game play. The biggest things that I saw were a lot of pick and roll action, right? But it's 3-on-3. What other options do you have? So I don't know if maybe the Phantom just need to work together and practice to get the grasp of what's happening. But I do know that a 38-point blowout isn't a good thing. I hope that doesn't change the participation or the viewership, right? Because we still got to watch it. We got to watch it for them to get paid. I hope that one game doesn't mess up the viewership. And that's, you know what I'm saying? That's everything for this week as far as news is concerned. Now, going into next week, well, first, it's Sunday. College women's basketball is on all day. Don't just watch the top-ranked teams. Watch a little bit of everybody. It's good basketball on every single level of basketball. There's good D2. There's good HBCU basketball. There's good middle of the road. There's good mid-major basketball that's happening. But it's women's basketball on all day. Go check it out. If you don't already, follow me on Instagram where I'll be letting you know what I'm watching all week, giving you my takes on things. We're going over the AP ratings tomorrow. I can't wait to talk to you about everything else that's going to transpire and unfold this week. We got some stuff that we still got to discuss about these high schools, these high school coaches. What they doing? They cheating out here? We forging rent documents and utility bills. What are we doing to win high school games? We're going to talk about all of that this week coming up. Thank you for all your support. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all back here next week. Peace.